Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 2, where we are going to make a practical example with REST and Python. We're going to connect our Raspberry Pi with Carriots, and we will make two examples to send data from the Raspberry to Carriots and to get data from Carriots to the Raspberry. But first of all, let's get introduced to Carriots. Okay. So first of all, we have to get familiar with Carriots, and for that we go to the webpage carriots.com and we create an account. Once we have our account, we can log in and we will be presented with information of our account, device, streams, listeners, alarms, everything that we have. Most important things: hierarchy, where we can find our projects, services, groups, assets, devices, and models. The most important thing are the devices. So you have to create a device here. You can create a new device. You have two devices. You can create two devices in the free account. So you have two devices, and you can create them and delete them, whatever you want to do. And the name. If we click here, the name that we will use to connect is this one. Okay, appears here in ID developer. Okay, ID developer, you have to remember that name. Another important part here is the data. We have data streams, status streams. We go to data stream. Here's where we find all the data that we have. Time arrived, from which device, and the values are over here. You can set up some rules, okay, on listeners to do things with your data, and also in settings you have here your API keys, very important. Okay, this is what you will need to communicate. Okay, so that's the most important thing. I recommend you to make some tutorials also about the use of Carriots that you could find in the web page. Okay. Here in developers you have documentation and tutorials that you can use to understand how Carriots work. Okay, so now I am remotely connected to the Raspberry, and I'm going to show you how to write our Python programs to make our REST connection. I have several programs already written, and you can get them from the web page. So first of all, we have this demo for a get connection, for a get command, get method to get information from Carriots. So first of all, we said we're going to use Python 3. Then we import some libraries that we will need: HTTP libraries, URL, lib, JSON, and time. Okay. Next thing is to create some variables with our information. We have here our API URL. Okay, api.carriots.com/devices, and then here we have our API key. Okay, this is my API key. You should use your API key. Okay, next thing, for example, if we want to include the time of our measurement, we can use this timestamp to get the time. That's why we have the import time here. Then the params. Okay, this line over here. In this case, we will have only one parameter. That's the order. We want the streams in reverse order to get newest values first. And finally, we transform our params in a JSON array with this instruction. Okay, use ASCII encode, and we use json.dumps params to transform our array into a JSON file. So that's the first thing. Second thing is to create a header. Again, in a JSON format, we use several parameters like user agent. In this case, Raspberry Carriots. The content type is usually application JSON, and the Carriots API key is the API key, the variable that we have created before. Okay, so next thing is to make the request. We use the library URL lib. We make a URL lib request. Okay, request using our API URL, our binary data, and our header that we have already created. And then we make the URL request URL open. With this instruction, we perform our request. Last thing is to print the result. With this, we get f the result, f.read.decode. Okay, so let's see. If it works. Okay, in order to run it, we use Python 3 and the name of our file, demoget.py. Okay, so it seems that it was successful because we got some information, but it's very difficult to read. Okay, so one thing that we can do is to copy, and then go to a browser and look for a Json Parser. I wrote it. Okay, so we have this Json Parser online. You could use anyone. We copy it, and then we get it in a beautiful format. Now we see that we have received two documents. So this is the first, the device Pi1, and the second one is Mac1. Okay, with all the information. Okay, but we can print it in a beautiful format. So instead of doing this, we can do a formatting. So we get our data and we put it inside JSON loads, and then we print JSON dumps with indent and sort stuff. We save the file, we execute it again, and now we get it in a much beautiful format. Okay, we have our first file named Pi1, Mac1, and total documents here at the bottom because we sorted. Okay, so that was how to get information. Okay, remember to use your own APK. So next thing, we're going to post something. So in order to post, we use same libraries. The URL changed a little bit. Here we used devices, okay, and to post we will use streams because we are going to put a value. The device where we want to upload the value, replace it with your own ID developer of your device. You can find it in your own account or somewhere here probably. Okay, you see, ID developer. Okay, you can get it from here. And the APK timestamp the params. Here it is very important because it's a bit different. The params, we have to include the protocol, let's say B2. The device should be the device name, a variable that we have created here, the time, and then the data. Okay, we're going to create with this instruction, dict from dictionary. We create the data including temp and humidity. We're going to put temp, for example, 11. Today it's a cold day. And humidity, for example, 89. Humid day. Then we parse it. We make a JSON of these params. We create the header in the same way. Raspberry Carriots as user agent, application JSON as a content type, and our AP key. We perform the request. We create the request, AP URL, binary data, and header, and then we perform the request again, and we print the data in a beautiful format. Okay, ready? So here we go. Make a post. Okay, we're lucky. The response is okay. So let's see if we have the data online. So we go to data streams, we load the page, and hopefully, yep, we get it right here. 11 degrees temperature, humidity 89. Okay. So that's it with this program. Okay. So finally, we're going to make another demo. We're going to delete one sample. So we go to the data streams, we click on it, we will get a URL of our measurement. It is here, ID developer. So we click here to copy to the clipboard, and then we put it here. Okay, so the URL that we are going to use is api.carriots.com/streams, and now slash our sample. Don't forget the slash at the end. This is important. Okay, and then apk as usual, the libraries as usual. No need for params this time because we're going to delete. The header should be only, we can use only the APK, no need for anything else. So then we create a request, okay, URL, binary data, and header. And then we have to say that we are going to do a delete method, okay. For get and post, this is not necessary, but for delete we have to specify. Then we make the request, URL open, and we print the result. Okay, so let's see if it works. Okay, we got the problem right here. Let's see what is the problem. Unauthorize. Okay, maybe something is wrong. I didn't save it. Okay. So I run it again, and now it worked. Okay, stream deleted. If we go here to data streams, our last value is temperature 20, not temperature 11, as it was the stream that we have, the data that we have deleted. Okay, so now we are able to get information from our devices or everything that we have in our Carriots account. We can post new values to Carriots. We can delete values. Okay, and finally, you can make an example. A task is to make a program like this one. you upload data that you get from sensors. So you will use some libraries before IP URL, the device where you want to put the data, your IP key. Okay, and then you can get information from your sensor, for example, and then you get humidity and temperature values. Okay, then you create a string, Json, the params that you're going to put. You create the JSON file, the header, you make a request, and you perform the request. Okay, so this is the task for you to upload real data. So I hope you have enjoyed this demo. In general, I hope you have enjoyed the course. So thank you for watching, and see you.